Okay, good morning, everyone. Monday, October 5th, Forrest Yoga. Let's get started. If you have yoga blocks accessible, grab some yoga blocks or anything that could bring the floor and bolster it up to you, and a beach towel or something you could roll up to use for some core work, and then also a pillow. In my case, I have a small bolster. Those would be useful for where we're headed. So please set yourself up however you can be most comfortable. Activate your feet and begin to shift your consciousness into this time in your practice. Close your eyes if you like, or settle your gaze to one thing. And begin to breathe in a way that helps you tune into caring for your soul through the way that you pay attention, the way that you breathe, the way that you move, and the way that you allow yourself to be held. Begin to bring the awareness to your baseline breathing without trying to fix or change anything, engaging a curious attention towards what you can learn about how to care for your soul best by seeing what information from your nervous system is apparent. There are some sticky places, some open places, some shifting places. And many of you, I've shared with you my love of a book called My Grandmother's Hands by someone named Resmaa Menakem, and we're in the works of a book club, and I'm hoping we can add it to one of the books we can read together, and addresses racialized trauma on the level of the body. And it has some beautiful language around what we in neuroscience call heart rate variability and vagal tone. And he so beautifully gives the vagus nerve that translates as the wandering nerve, the term the soul nerve. So we're going to wake up our awareness of the soul nerve as a way to care for our soul. So begin to create some friction with your hands, and then place your hands right around the base of your skull bones. You can sort of get a lengthening of the occiput base of the skull. If that feels comfortable, you can also just let your hands rest and bring your awareness there. So the vagus nerve is in charge of bringing our nervous system back to a place of rest and digest. A place where we can learn, be present, connect out of a stress response and into a healing mode. So it begins in the brainstem. It's the 11th cranial nerve, 10th cranial nerve. And then 80% of it lives and wraps around the gut. So a lot of the information we get in our gut is related to this, and learning to relax the gut before you do anything can help you to become more clear about what is going on. So just getting a sense of this whole central channel from brainstem to gut, relaxing the jaw as much as you can. And we'll start to play with some humming. So you could do more of a Brahma where you're just humming, which tones the vagus nerve, the soul nerve. So at your own pace, you can relax the hands down and just begin to play with inhaling. Stay with this for just a little over a minute so you can just see. Where you can get a sense of buzzing up your brainstem. And then allowing yourself to play with the pitch, traveling to different areas that you feel drawn and interested. When that feels organic, pause and allow yourself to uptake the echo of the humming, sensing the vibration. And keep it fairly simple. A lot of the old favorites this morning, starting to unlock the neck at the base of the skull bone. Begin to circle. Circle, you can let it be small or you can let it be bigger. Adding in any kind of lion's breath. Any more humming. Switching directions as you feel ready. Letting that channel open up from brainstem to gut, so you're caring for your soul, bringing yourself back to presence to whatever degree is available. And then from there, come back to center. Find your sit bones, press them down to get tall, and then we'll come into a genie stretch. So you can do, I will mirror today, right arm at shoulder height, left arm on top, press, 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 and then soften. Keep the rib cage lifted and move the arms to the right. As much as you can, keep the chest facing forward so you're getting into the shoulder girdle, perhaps the upper back. In service of seeing how freeing up the upper back supports freeing up the neck. You can start looking to the left as the arms go to the right. Come back to center, relax the arms. Take a listening breath. Relaxing the jaw with every exhale. Bringing left arm up, right arm on top, press, 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 and then soften. Chest and ribs stay lifted, arms move to the left and then back to center. Feeling into the shoulder girdle, the rhomboids and muscles in between shoulder blades. Playing around with unraveling what's built up in there. Looking to the right as the arms go left. And then releasing arms, come back to center, take a feeling breath. From here, let's go ahead and do some seated bird wing, bringing the biceps just to the ribs and then slightly forward. So I'll show that from the side. And then from there, begin to get a sense of what just this baseline feels like in your shoulders. Inhale, and then on exhale, forearms come out, elbows hug in, shoulders and shoulder blades move down. Come back to stage one. Feeling into the relationship between shoulder girdle and your heart. So a lot of times we get into this pronation in the shoulders to protect the heart, just normalizing that, not trying to shove it into another position, letting the information of whatever that postural habit is trying to achieve, protection, care. And then when you're ready, arms come back to center, relax the arms down, take a feeling breath. And then from there, go ahead and come into a seated position. Let's come into a seated side bend with one leg straight. So I'm going to straighten out through the right leg. And again, it can be really nice to get a little bolstering from, in my case, a towel. My low back has been in and out of tweakiness, so that helps me. I'll show it from the side. Getting out of any kind of rounding here, it helps me to lift up through my ribs. And then from there, spreading through the toes, pressing the sit bones down, finding the middle of the sit bones. So notice if you can rock forward and then back. And then see what feels like the front hip point and the back hip point are relatively even. And then from there, let's come into a side bend. So lifting the ribs and then taking yourself into the side bend and playing with what gives you information. So the beginning poses, the seated poses are about grounding the pelvis energetically to the earth. So feeling into that here, spreading your awareness of pelvis and legs, lower part of the belly, relax the belly as completely as possible. Draw the front ribs in and down. Using a little bit of a grabbing action and then a cat pawing to get some information in the hand and the shoulder. And then playing with the neck. If your neck is really tight, looking down. You can look forward or you can look up if that feels like it brings the energy up. And then flip the palm, moving the arm over and down. Either hover the hand in space. It can be really nice to use your supports here, bolstering the hand. And then just let yourself come into listening. The most advanced pose. As the inner ear opens up, the neck can respond, the vestibular system can increase your awareness of yourself in present time. And then from there, look down, tuck the chin back, find another place to breathe into in the back of the neck. You can roll the chin alongside the collarbones here. Take any kind of exhale, and then take the heel of your hand, massage into your forehead, put your head back up on top of your spine, and then use your core to switch the cross of the legs. Reach strongly through that extended leg. You can use a little hip traction here if you like, and then get on the center of your sit bones. Playing with that, rocking back and forth till you find it, and then from there, finding that lift of the rib cage, pelvis stays rooted. Feel into the lateral flexion of the spine. Plant the hand, do a little grab onto the ground, and then slide the shoulder down. Spin the pinky finger in, so you're educating the back of the heart how to open up at its own organic rate of release. And then play with it. You could stick the ribs out and then sense what does it mean to let the ribs come down, so you can broaden across the back body. Flipping the palms, so you're internally rotating the upper arm, moving the arm through space, sensing the air around the arm, and then either hovering the hand or grabbing your block. And then giving yourself time here, breathe. Playing with any movement that helps you to open up right at that occipital ridge. So many bodywork traditions talk about the essential nature of opening that area. In Chinese medicine, it's called wind pond. And it just gets a lot of survival strategies get lodged in there. And just seeing what you can clear out today so that you have more spaciousness for your soul, for presence. Looking down, tucking the chin back. Roll the chin alongside the collarbones. And then take the heel of the hand, massaging into your brow point. Put your head back up. And then from there, please come into either knee pile, which is, let's do left leg under, right leg over, stacking the knees. If that feels like too much, or it's just more interesting to extend out through the left leg, please do that. And then just get a sense. Again, I'm still sitting up on my towel, and that feels pretty useful. And so you see my knees aren't completely stacked. They're just going in that direction to their very first edge. Get on your sit bones. And then from here, we're going to come into eagle arms. So extending out through the arms and then bringing left arm under, right arm over. Great way to work this is give yourself a hug. Even if you're going to come to the next stage, starting here. Sensing you containing you. Send the upper arm bones forward and maybe you stay right here. If you like, you could wrap at the wrists. And then from here, let the upper back round a bit, tuck the chin. Using this to connect into that central channel of the vagus nerve, the soul nerve. Inviting grace to help you shift, meeting your self-effort. Breathing right into the base of the brain. Adding in humming anytime. And then when you're ready, unwind the arms, come back so you're stretching the chest open, reach the arms out, palms up. So you're coming back to opening up, taking any movements there that feel good in the tissues and the joints. And then we'll set up the other side. So right leg under, either both legs bent or straightening the bottom leg. Getting into building your pose with basic moves. So active feet. Grounding the pelvis, lift the ribs, broaden the ribs, and then we'll take that to the other side. So left arm under, right arm over, broadening upper back. Send the elbows and the upper arm bones forward. Maybe stay right here, great place to work. Teasing out a little space with some movement, some rocking, sensing you containing you. Or coming into wrapping at the wrists. Letting the back teeth separate, eyes soften, relaxing the brain, the space behind the eyes. When you're ready, bringing the spine back into extension, unwind the arms, stretch across the chest, reach the arms up, and take any movements there that feel good. And let's go ahead and come onto the back. So I'm going to give a quick tutorial. I actually already have my blanket rolled up in a way that would work pretty well to create a roll. So I'll just say from something like this, if you fold it into threes, and then roll it up, that's usually going to give you the maximum width of a towel. I'll just do that pretty quickly. So something like that. So just make your roll and then place it nearby you. Come onto your back. And begin to check in with using the floor to get some clear information. Feet could be right underneath the knees or adjusting a little forward, a little wider, whatever lets you feel into the back crest of the pelvis and the back bottom ribs. Begin to purposefully spread the back bottom ribs onto the floor, using your hands to coach that. And then go ahead and grab onto your roll. Bring the roll to the inner thighs. A couple of options here. You can keep the feet down if you're still warming up, or if you have any back tweakiness, or you could pick the feet up, bring the shins parallel to the floor. So from here, inhale across back bottom ribs. And then on exhale, squeeze the prop, curl the pubic bone towards the low ribs, engaging the low abs, and then relax the abs. If the feet are up, you can keep those there. Inhale across back bottom ribs. Exhale, squeeze your roll, lift pubic bone, engaging abs, and then release. And then keep going for about 3 or 4 more rounds to see where you can get some information, get some energy flow into these energy centers where so much is happening. In terms of the vagus nerve, 80% of it is here. Millions of neurons that are giving you information about whether you are safe, whether you're in a learning mode, whether you're in a healing mode. And then from there, picking both feet up, internally rotate the thigh bones. We'll come into some dipping frog. So if your back is sensitive, you can keep the feet down, and when everybody else is dipping down, you go up. So it just lessens the load into the back, so you can switch it. Take an exhale. Inhale across back bottom ribs, and then feet are up. On exhale, squeeze the prop, tap the heels down, and then come right back up, engaging into low abs. Inhale across back bottom ribs. Exhale, squeeze prop, tap heels down, come right back up. Do 3 more at your own pace. Feel the internal rotation. So you're targeting TVA, transverse abdominis. And then from there, take a moment, place your prop to the side. Either come into Baddha Konasana, feet together, knees wide, or constructed rest, knees together, feet wide. Take a moment. And then from here, we're going to come into elbow to tree. So interlace the hands behind the base of the skull bones, sending healing energy to the brain stem, shoulders down, elbow tips reach up, pick feet up off the ground. And again, always placing the feet down to adjust as needed. Inhale across back bottom ribs, Curl the pubic bone so the knees are reaching straight up. And then on exhale, both elbows reach to the right, straighten through the left leg. Low belly pulls in. Stay reaching to the right. Bring the sole of the foot above or below the knee into tree pose. Curl up a second time. Low belly pulls in. Inhale, bend both knees, knees over hips. Curl the pubic bone, knees reach straight up to the ceiling. And then on exhale, both elbows reach to the right, to the left, straighten through the right leg. Moving the thigh bone away from the hip. Low belly engages. Stage 2, the foot goes above or below the knee into tree pose. Elbows keep reaching to the left. Press the foot into the leg and the leg into the foot. Curl up a second time. Low belly pulls in. Inhale, bend both knees. Curl the pubic bone. On exhale, both elbows reach to the right. Straighten through the left leg. Low belly pulls in. Stage 2, foot goes to inner leg line. Press. Curl up a second time. Low belly pulls in. Inhale, bend both knees. Curl pubic bone. Exhale, elbows reach to the left, straighten through the right leg. Low belly pulls in. Stage 2, foot to inner leg. Curl up a second time. Low belly pulls in. We'll go through one more round. Give yourself breath support. Inhale across back, bottom ribs. Curl tailbone. Exhaling, elbows reach right, straighten through left leg. Low belly pulls in. Foot to inner leg. Press. Curl up a second time. Low belly pulls in. Inhale to center. Curl tailbone. Exhale, elbows reach left, straighten through the right leg. Low belly pulls in. Stage 2, foot to inner leg. Press, curl up a second time. Low belly pulls in. Come back to center. Feet come down. And then let yourself uptake the energy you just generated there. Relaxing the belly as completely as possible. Come into bridge. Option to use the roll. It can be really nice. A lot of us have tightness and disconnect in the inner leg line, weakness, all kinds of things. So the roll can help build awareness of what is going on there. Feet underneath the knees, outer edges of the feet parallel. And then from there, bring the arms, shoulders away from the ears, wherever it gives you the most freedom in the heart. Inhale across back, bottom ribs, massaging the kidneys open with the breath, and then press the ground away to come on up. And let it be organic, that you're feeling through the whole transition of what you get when you set up Setu Bandhasana, bridge pose. All of the awakening you get in the stabilization muscles of the pelvis, the glutes, and the legs. Can the heart uptake that support? Send the thigh bones forward, ground the feet. See if you can internally soften and then inhale every single time so that you're creating a caring breath that invites your soul to inhabit every cell of your body. And then from here, let's do a round of Uddiyana, relaxing as completely as possible. Internally soften and then fill all the way up. Pause at the top and then exhale everything out. When you're empty, keep the breath out. Pull the belly back, lower down, and then completely relax the belly. Inhale, and then stay for a moment, seeing where you can feel for uptaking the echo of that exercise. It's a breath exercise, it's an asana. Freeing up the information from the vagus nerve. And then keeping your neck relaxed, roll onto one side, come up the tabletop. Shoulders over wrists, spreading in a way that helps you to wake up the hands, wake up the feet. And then from here, broadening across the back bottom ribs. On exhale, lifting from the back bottom ribs, top rim of sacrum lifts, sit bones move towards calves, and then come back through your neutral spine. Inhale, exhale, lifting from back bottom ribs. Head hangs. And then from there, pause. Keep the kidney areas puffed up, if you will, and see, can you relax your belly completely? Staying with this awareness of all of the layers of gripping that most of us are doing consciously, unconsciously, emotional tension. And then from there, go ahead and if you want to use a prop, you can use a block or your grab onto something. We'll do that thread the needle that we've been working with. Pressing away from you and really getting into sensing these developmental movements, grabbing and pulling, reach up, and then take it through. Tap your object down if you're using your hand, tap the hand, come back up, and then take it through. Keep the feet actively pressing, keep the hips as square as you can. And then from there, place the block down, take a feeling breath. We'll take that to the other side. So same thing, pressing the ground away as you simultaneously pull with or without a prop. Reach up, feel for that pair of actions, and then take it through, tap. And then when you're ready, release your prop. If you have it, take a pause, take a feeling breath. Next pose is turbo puppy. We'll do the flowing version. So hands come forward and hands with distance. Press the ground away, shoulders away from ears. So keeping the lower back and the pelvis as stable as you can. Bending elbows, so we're going to work the upper back as specifically as possible. You can go all the way like 1 to 3 inches from the floor if that works. Look forward a bit, squeeze the inner elbows, and then reach. You can give yourself a self-assist here. I'm going to give myself my hand, reaching my elbow towards the ground. So I'm making space in the glenohumeral joint. The upper arm bone is moving towards the ground. Straighten the arms. Lift the part of the spine between shoulder blades, head heavy. Rebend the elbows, palms rooted. Squeeze inner elbows, reach the elbows towards the floor. Look forward if that works for your neck. And then notice, I just noticed my breath really opening up here from getting into the chest muscles and the upper back. Tracking these transformations on the mat so you build that skill. And then from there, pause. Either stillness or any responsive movements that the tissues and the joints automatically flow into. Next pose is flash prep. So from your table, it's half chaturanga, half dolphin. So the right elbow comes directly underneath the shoulder, ground the inner hand. And then from there, the left hand is going to start right underneath the shoulder and then walk back either 4 to 6 inches or to a 90-degree angle. I have tightness in my wrist, so usually it's a little bit less than a 90-degree angle. So play with that, and then get that left shoulder blade down the back. Relax the neck, press the ground away like you mean it with that right forearm, so you're stabilizing the shoulder joint. And then from there, curling toes under, you can hover the knees. And then as you are ready, straighten the legs. Squeeze the inner elbow towards the midline. Press the ground away. If it's interesting, lift the right leg. Use the glutes to take the weight out of the shoulder. Look towards your navel. See if there's any amount more to let the head hang. And you can play with bending that knee. Feeling for how the asymmetry lands in your brain and your body. And then lengthen the thigh bone away from the hip as you lower down. Tabletop. Take a moment. And then from there, left forearm comes down. Root the inner hand. Start with the right hand underneath the shoulder and then walk it back 4 to 6 inches or to a 90-degree angle. Move the shoulder blade, contract the shoulder blade down the back. Elbow hugs in on the right. And then playing with lifting a little, coming to straight leg, perhaps lifting the leg. Breathing with what shows up, perhaps bending the knee, working into some hamstring strengthening. Lowering the legs, smoothly feeling all the way through each transition as a pose in and of itself. Sit the hips back. Love to place a block under my head. Some people like to use a bolster behind the knees. Relax the arms by the torso, embryo. And see where you can really use this quieter pose as soul care, time with you, breathing for you, moving out what needs to drop, welcoming in each breath like a guest into your home. Let's come back up to set up for down dog. So from your table, walk your hands forward. Soften the shoulders, and then from there, using the low abs like you're gonna sit on the ceiling and just playing with any movements that help you come into this down dog. And then for today, we're gonna come right into lunge. So a lot of times we use momentum, we'll kick that leg up and then bring it through. That's no problem, but just noticing the difference when you don't use the momentum, stepping the left leg forward, it gives you way more information about what the heck is going on in there. And again, you could step to the outside of the hand if stepping forward is more challenging. And then from there, see where your hips are willing to go, this very first lunge. Maybe you stay in that 90-degree thing, or maybe you come a little bit forward, listening in. And then from there, getting a sense of pressing the ground away, lifting the ribs, and then reaching the arms up, lifting up. And then giving yourself permission to play. Doesn't have to be arms straight, could be arms wide. Pinky fingers spin in, so you're stabilizing the shoulder. And then from there, hold on to the left hip. Reach up and over. And then from there, bringing yourself back out of the side bend. Options, back the hips up and staying right here, option 1. Option 2 is curling the toes under, kicking through that leg like you have a wall there to light up the posterior chain. We're heading towards a twist. So knee up or knee down is choice point 1. Choice point 2 is either one hand pressing into a block or a prop and the other arm reaching up, or taking the elbow outside the thigh, connecting the hands. So you'll see my left hip wants to wing out. I'm going to track it back. Perhaps place my knee down if that helps me do that. Press the ground away. Inhale, lengthen ribs away from pelvis. And then see, where is my spine willing to go? Sometimes it's really nice to keep the hand on the hip to coach that stability. Bring the back of your head towards the upper right-hand corner of the mat. And then from there, unwind. Let's come into straightening through the left leg, nomad's pose. Blocks are very useful here. And again, deepen that left hip hinge, lengthening through the torso, and then fold. And you can repeat that as much as you like. Keep teasing out space. Like you're trying to pull your yoga mat towards you, press into the heel, pull it towards you. And then you can play with reaching through the ball of the foot so you're getting into the tissue in the front of the ankle as well. And then from there, lifting the torso, setting the blocks inside. Scooch that leg back, and let's come into plank. So you decide, knees up or knees down. Press the ground away. Lowering down. Reach back through each leg, lengthen the leg, roll the inner thigh to the ceiling. And then let's do some cobra push-ups. So hands underneath shoulders. You could also come forward. From there, cobra pose. Pull the chest forward and up, and then reach the heart forward to lower down. And then play with that a few times. Keep strong energy lines through the legs. And then when you're ready, taking a pause, coming into crocodile, stacking the hands, either placing the forehead down or turning the head to one side. Using this pose to relax the belly.
Hey, come here. No, honey, come with Dada. Come on. Come here. Come this way.
And then hands under shoulders, shoulders away from the ears. Press the ground away. And we'll come back into downward facing dog.
Okay, do yoga with Mama. No, honey, no. Don't touch the computer. Honey, don't touch that. Come on, go see Mama.
And then
See Mama.
we'll come into lunge.
Hey, no, come here. Come with
Right
me.
leg forward.
Come with Dada. Come on. Come with me.
Pressing the ground away.
You hold my hand.
Seeing where
Do you guys?
the hip is willing to go.
Wait.
Reaching both arms up. And then coming into.
Here. Okay, you can help Mama. Oh, Jesus. Okay, let's see how that works.
Hold on to the right hip.
Okay.
Lift the ribs, reaching up and over.
Come on. Come on. Let's go. Come on. Come on. Come on, baby. Come on. Let's go this way. That's my girl. Oh, you want me to lift you up?
And then from there, bringing the torso up, setting up for your twist. So option one, knee down or knee up. Option two, either opening the arms or taking the elbow outside the thigh. Begin to get into feeling for pelvis forward, ribs, opening up. That right hip might want to scooch out, keeping the hip back and down. Bring the head towards the upper left corner of the mat.
Let's get those ready. I'm just gonna 6 more minutes. 6 more minutes. Oh, you know what we can do? We can change your diaper too.
Releasing the arm, coming down, scooching the leg back, and then lowering down once again. High quality transition to the floor. And then reaching back. Let's come into some upper back work. So lifting legs, lifting shoulders, lifting upper back. Hover the hands. Inhale, broadening upper back. Exhale, squeeze shoulders, shoulder blades, and elbow tips. Inhale, broaden upper back. Exhale, squeeze shoulders, shoulder blades, elbow tips. Inhale, broaden upper back. Keep reaching through the legs. Squeeze shoulders, shoulder blades, elbow tips. And then come on down. Come back to your crocodile, hands stacked. And then get some information about this soul nerve for yourself. Brainstem to gut.
I got you. Let's see.
And then from here, coming back up, shoulders away from ears. Press the ground away. Coming back into down dog. We're going to come into horse stance. So stepping forward, And then coming into a wide stance. So general rule of thumb is ankles under wrists, let the arms relax down. Pivot the toes out, and then deciding you can come to what degree of spiciness feels good for your lunges. And then sensing, can you get the front ribs softening down? Give the arms a shake. And we'll come into some hand passes. So if you know Uddiyana and you prefer to add that in, feel free. I'm going to coach deep breathing, pulling energy up, be active and receptive. Pull up through the midline. Exhale, press up. And then relaxing skull bones, pulling energy into the brainstem, into the heart. Open chest, reach forward. Pulling energy in, pressing out to the side, creating your own sanctuary energetically. Pulling energy in, rooting, pressing down. Going through one more round here, with or without Uddiyana. Opening, reaching forward, relaxing skull bones open. Pressing out, pulling in. And then from there, straighten legs, sweep arms out, feeling that gut-brain relationship. Come into twisting horse, so hands onto the tops of the thighs, lift ribs, and then you could either keep the hand on the quads or slide it to the inner leg line, and then taking it side to side. And then from there, come back to center, pressing the ground away to rise up, sweeping up. Come back through the midline. Pivot the toes facing forward, hold on to the hips. Telescope ribs. We'll come into flying stretch before we head to the ground. Keep the legs solid, walk the hands over to the right, and you can take the left hand and hold on to the leg, or you can have your hand on the block, opposite hand on top, and then play with teasing out space in the shoulder. Reach the left elbow towards the ground. You can do any other variation here. Some people like to take it more into a twist. Moving the left ribs to the left.
Good.
Using this pose to coach that ability to fill into the kidney area. Come back to center, over to the other side. Right hand reaches for left leg or props up on a block. Teasing out mobility in the right shoulder girdle, seeing what your scapular mobility is on this side. And then again, play with any variations, moving right ribs to the right, moving front ribs towards back ribs. When you are ready, releasing, coming back to center. A few options here. From here, you could pivot the feet in a bit narrower and come right into a squat. Grabbing something to bring the floor up to your sit bones if you like. Taking some deep breath into hips and low back. And at your own pace, finding your way onto your back. And from here, we'll work with some of the emotional release body work we often refer to. So let's start with some toe tapping. So if it works for your structure, you can bring the heels to touch or towards each other, toes away from each other, and then begin to tap the inner edge of the foot. If that feels inaccessible, you can let the feet be wider, but still do that internal and external rotation. If it feels like it generates too much sensation, slow it down. Using the breath to support awareness of low belly, inner leg, pelvic floor line. And then when you're ready, taking a feeling breath, finding stillness, uptaking the resonance. And then starting to work with balancing the calf muscles. Using this to move out other energy that is not supportive to your soul. Taking care of your knees, making it slower and smaller as needed.
Thank you.
And when that feels complete, begin to set up for Shavasana, lengthening the low back. And before we go all the way into Shavasana, bringing the hand to the belly, hand to the heart, and coming into this central channel, brain stem, heart, gut. Sensing this core gift of yoga that it enables us to move out all the noise, that we can actually hear what our soul has to say. And as you're ready, releasing into Shavasana, letting your bones be held by your home, the earth. Letting your heart be held by your body. Letting your Shavasana be soul care. Beginning to feel into the sensation of the inhale. Allowing yourself to uptake what is basically good in this moment. Acknowledging all of your efforts, opening to grace to meet those efforts. Taking all the time you need to roll onto one side. And then press the ground away, keeping the neck relaxed, feeling into that line of brain, heart, gut, back into a vertical axis, experiencing the vessel of you as heaven and earth. Let's close with one round of humming. So if you like, you could bring one hand to chest, one hand to belly. And whenever you're ready, bring the hands to touch, organizing yourself into the midline once again. And if you like, bowing to yourself and to each other. Thank you so much for sharing your practice. See you very soon.